pretty cool guitar. You know, this is a completely unique sort of thing. Partially because this instrument is actually the product of a lot of experimentation and a lot of mistakes along the way. I started making this guitar, let's see, I wrote it on the label. I started making this guitar back in 2015, actually. And it was beset with all kinds of problems. All having to do with the neck and the fretboard. As the years went on, I kept having all these failed problems. I'll give you the whole story here. So I started making this guitar with a let me see if I have it here. Okay, I found it. So first I made this fretboard, and I got the big idea. I was going to inlay all these sort of I don't even know what you call these, just like polished different kinds of stones that I had from when I was a kid, just like little, like, you know, typical sort of little weird stuff. I don't know anything about rocks, but these were some cool rocks of different shapes, and I inlaid them into this bloodwood fretboard. And man, I'll tell you, it was so hard leveling this fretboard. First getting the stones, like just grinding them down to where they weren't, you know, protruding out of the fretboard, and then radiusing the whole thing and leveling it. It took days. It took days and days and days. And then I'm getting all ready to glue it onto the neck, and I take a look, and I'm like laying out, because you gotta lay out for where the joint's gonna be. And it's like, oh, the joint looks off, and then I realize I'd inlaid it all right. I'll do some close-up pictures you'll be able to see, but I inlaid it all right, like inlay at the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, and what's this? Like the octave mark is at the 11th fret instead of the 12th fret, and I realized what I had done, because I had been tracing them and moving them and doing, you know, to inlay them, you move them around, and I just messed up at some point in the thing, and so I was totally like disheartened because it took so long to do this. And so when I make that kind of huge mistake, I'll often like put a project away for a long time and come back to it, and that way your mistakes aren't like just mounting on each other. You don't, like, you're not having bad feelings, but also those projects start to become like real albatrosses around your neck. So I got a big idea a few years later to make it, and I had made it simpler. And I got to, the neck was almost all together. It was a neck, it had a truss rod in it. The fretboard was all radiused and ready to go, and I glued everything together. And I was just trimming up the neck to the fretboard taper. And at some point, the router I was using slipped and went in, and it was just, I'll be able to use that neck, but I'm not going to be able to use it for this project. And so I was like disheartened again and put it down. And then, like a year ago, the pieces of this instrument were just staring at me. And I was like, oh, I got it. Like, this is almost a finished guitar if you can just get a neck on it. And so I finally got it together, and I made this neck, and it came out great. I had a big old piece of weird cherry, and so I made it out of cherry because, oh yeah, I'll show you here. The back and sides are this beautiful figured cherry. The top is really cool. It's a piece of Doug fir that has this sort of squiggly grain. That's really cool. Quarter sawn, but it has this. Doug fir does much stranger things than like pine or spruce does, or cedar with the grain sometimes. I don't know if it's preferable or what. I bet you it makes it slightly weaker. I don't know. What do I know? But don't get worried. Doug fir is a really good strong wood. This also has what have I done? This has Doug fir braces inside. This is all like really old growth reclaimed Doug fir. And I did this really neat sort of segmented binding on here that's made up of all these different marquetry pieces of all kinds of different colors. I did a little marquetry decoration around the sound hole here. There's a little marquetry head up at the headstock. Whoa. And it's just a really neat guitar. Like, I had originally figured I was going to make this with a sort of glue-on pin bridge sort of deal. But then at the last minute, as things were changing and I sort of messed with the design more, I went for this this sort of tailpiece and floating bridge kind of setup, and I really love, because that's sort of just the style I'm working in now, and I love the unique thing that this gives it, because it's still an X-braced guitar, so it has sort of a traditional, I don't know, balance or whatever, but the attack is a little bit different. It's a really comfortable instrument. What is, I'm not even sure. It's about 13 inches lower bout. Almost 10 inches the upper bout. The scale length is like, you know, long, like 25 and a half, typical, normal, long scale sort of deal. Body's kind of shorter. What's the overall length here? Shorter, whatever that means. I got a 17-inch body. So it's a smaller body guitar, but with a full-size sort of playing neck. Really round, nice carve. This is a really comfortable neck. I really am getting into these round neck shapes. And overall, a really unique thing. And because it's so strange, I'm not going to list it for as expensive as I would normally list a guitar that has this many. Like, this has a lot of pretty fancy wood and decorations on it. But it's an experiment, baby, so I'm gonna let it go for a low price. But for real, it's out there, and I want it to get in the hands of someone that will play it. Check it out. Thanks.